concept of simple is important. The Every day you face different kinds of problems and issues that you would like to solve. You could come up with a solution, and it could be pretty complicated solution, and it might sound very eloquent and smart that is so complicated, but it's not. I'm going to give you a few examples of simple. E equal mc squared. That's Einstein formula for energy, the relationship between energy and mass. And when he introduced that formula back in his time, everybody laughed at him. They said that couldn't be possibly that simple. Well, they laughed at him in the beginning, but they kept testing and testing and found out that it was correct. Give you another example of simple. Look at those airplanes that gets off the ground carrying, some of them, hundreds of tons of equipment, tanks, military equipment. You wonder how the airplane gets off the ground, this hundreds of tons of weight. How does it get off the ground? Well, guess what? It's a very simple concept. It's the shape of the wing. If it wasn't for the shape of the wing, the airplane will not take off. Give you another example of simple. Can you imagine in this day and age living without computers, cell phones? Can you imagine going to a hospital and not being able to have a CAT scan, MRI, anything that depends on computers? Our whole lives depend on computers. Well, guess what? The whole digital revolution is based on one very, very, very simple concept called the binary system. Some guy, his name escapes me at this time, decided, why are we counting from 1 to 10? Why not counting from 0 to 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1? Negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. We could translate that into electrical charges, and the computers were born. Let me give you another concept or another example of simple. Back in the days, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. And then he wanted to lit cities. He couldn't, because direct current is hard to transfer over long distances. Tesla came along and said, why direct current? Why not alternating current? If I do alternating current, I could send it over miles of wires. He did. And that's why we have electricity now, where you could flip a switch and you have light. You want another example of simple? Velcro. What I'm getting at is, when you see a simple idea that solves a huge problem, you shouldn't disrespect it. You shouldn't discount it as being mundane or naive. My motto is, the genius is in the simplicity. The genius is to be able to find the simplest possible solution for the most difficult problem. And what, excuse me, this is what this invention does. It's very simple. You'd be surprised how simple it is. Very, very simple. I can't think that it could possibly be any simpler. You want to talk about complex solutions? I was watching TV the other day about air disasters, and one of the airplanes that crashed and killed hundreds of people, it crashed because one of the maintenance guys forgot to put a washer during routine maintenance. A washer killed hundreds of people. The O-ring in the space shuttle, O-ring failed, killed how many astronauts? And another shuttle's disaster is when the foam on the wing failed and caused the shuttle to burn on the way coming to Earth. Any complex machine, you know Murphy's Law. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. So the simpler, the better.